बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावात। हुम्मा सल्ले अला मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद वअज्जिल फरजा। है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी, है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी। फना नहीं जिसे मर कर, फना नहीं जिसे मर कर, है वो बका गाज़ी, है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी। फ़कत मोहित नहीं करबला में इस की वफा, फ़कत मोहित नहीं करबला में इस की वफा, कदम कदम पे हुआ मौला पे फिदा गाज़ी, कदम कदम पे हुआ मौला पे फिदा गाज़ी, है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी। रही है देर तलक बाजू चूमती ज़ैनब, रही है देर तलक बाजू चूमती ज़ैनब, उम्मुल बनीन को जिस दम हुआ अता गाज़ी, उम्मुल बनीन को जिस दम हुआ अता गाज़ी, है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी। लबे फुरात से ज़हरा की आ रही थी सदा, लबे फुरात से ज़हरा की आ रही थी सदा, तू मेरी बेटी का वाहिद था आसरा गाज़ी, तू मेरी बेटी का वाहिद था आसरा गाज़ी, है लाज़वाल दहर में तेरी वफा गाज़ी। सलावत।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين وهو خير الناصرين ومعين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعطرته الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين أما بعد فقد قال الحكيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Our condolences to Kul Mu'mineen and Mu'minat and the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on this date of martyrdom of our ninth holy infallible Imam, Imam Muhammad at-Taqi alayhi salatu wa salam. I want to connect with Imam Jawad alayhi salam today, as Imam is a role model of balance and success in life. I intended this majlis exclusively for youth, to give them some sound foundation from the seerah of our holy Imam, as he is the youngest Imam among our Imams who was martyred when he was only 25. Imam, as we all know, was son to our 8th holy Imam, Imam Ali Rada alayhi salatu wa salam. Salli ala Muhammad. His holy mother is an Egyptian lady named Sabika, Salamullahi alayha. Imam Rida named her as Khayzuran, and she was from the descendants of Hazrat Bibi Maria Qibtiya, Ummul Mu'mineen, wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. There's lots of praise for her in the words of Imam Rida alayhi salam. She was a pure lady, as named by 8th holy Imam. Our Imam, if I can say, best fits in today's criteria. Remember, every Imam, every Masoom, every Nabi, they had a crisis to face. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا مِّنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Quran Kareem says that we established, we declared from criminals some enemies of all the prophets. They will come give them stress. They will come give them trouble. And that is to test them, of course. You name it. Let's go directly to our holy apostle. Abu Sufyan was there, Abu Jahl, As bin Wa'il, who not only will physically, astaghfirullah, torture Rasulullah, but spiritually he is the one who called Rasulullah Abtar, where Quran Kareem answered him, and we all know the story of Surah Kawthar. So Rasulullah was tried with likeness of these people, and at his end of his apparent life here, look, the crisis was produced. Rasulullah said Ghadir, people said Saqifa. There was confusion created. Imam Mujtaba alayhi salam, people said Imam Hassan. A group said by force, by trickery, Muawiyah. In Imam Hussein's case, we all know it is so apparent. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, he was not even allowed to talk. You cannot quote anything from Quran, you cannot quote anything from Rasulullah. And the claimants, they claim to be the ears of Rasulullah's member. This was the mockery in Islam. My point, crisis, you keep on going. And when you come to 8th Imam, in between the gap of 8th and 9th Imam, there was a huge crisis produced, and that was that the group known as Waqifiyya, they said we have only 7 Imams. We don't have any more Imams. They stopped at Imam Musa al-Qadhim alayhi alafu tahriyat wa thana. Have a salawat on him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And then Kaisaniya were produced, basically proclaiming that Imam Rida alayhi salam, because he is above 40 and no child, and an Imam cannot be without a child, so he's not the Imam. We have spoken about this. So basically now they created doubt in Imamat itself. And that was even fueled when Imam Rida was martyred and a 7 years old was announced to be the Imam. This was unprecedented. No one had seen a apparently nabaligh person, a 7 years old, to be the Imam. But people who are always there to protect the faith, who have insight, who have ma'rifat of Allah, ma'rifat of Rasulullah, and ma'rifat of Imam, and the status of Imam, which is Imamat, they always stand up, they rise and defend. People like Hazrat Abdul Azim Hassani and others. Now I just want to make a very important point to connect to youth. Our Imam Jawad was declared as Imam when he was only 7. The duration of his imamat extended to 17 years. He was martyred at the age of 25. He lived during the era of 2 Abbasi caliphs, Ma'mun and his brother Mu'tasim. Was killed by Mu'tasim with the help of his wife Ummul Fadl, who was the daughter of Ma'mun. So this is the background of this Imam. Now this Imam, the first challenge he faced was to prove his imamat. And the easiest way was, of course, to debate, to go for the munadhar. Because if somebody claims to be Imam, Imam is from the word Amam with Zabar, Amam, Fatha. Imam is the person, noun. Amam is somebody who is ahead of somebody. Khalf means somebody who is behind. Muqtadi or Ma'mum is normally who follows. Imam is somebody who is ahead of others. Imam e Jamaat, let's say. And when we say Imam, Imam means Ya'ani, the guide of mankind. So he went for and this demands knowledge. If you're an Imam, the first attribute of an Imam is to have knowledge, and then other attributes. So Imam went for the debates. Now this is where I want to connect to our society today. As soon as Imam enters, of course brought by Ma'mun, I'm cutting the long story short and connecting with my topic, that I want to show that how Imam balanced his life of court, elite court of Ma'mun. Ma'mun invited him, and this is how it started. Ma'mun had commanded 200 slave girls, the most beautiful he had, most attractive, and then he commanded them to decorate themselves, get ready to attract Imam, and then he commanded them to stand in line on both sides with a glass of soft drink, some juice, with a gem in it. So Imam is impressed and attracted towards the life of aristocrats of Ma'mun, the nobility. So when Imam enters, Imam did not even raise his gaze. He put his head down and walked through them. Imam did many things by just this short action. Number one, he practiced on the ayah, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا أَبْصَارَهُمْ. O Apostle, say to the believers, lower their gaze. Don't look at the na-mahram. And then Imam produced another very great impression that Ma'mun, I don't care about these women. Third, I don't care about your wealth. I don't care about your status. There will be others who admire your status, who admire your wealth. Now, this is where the trial lies. Imam was given lots of resources, abundance of resources, abundance of slaves, abundance of wealth. Could do anything because he was the son-in-law to the caliph. al-Fadl was the daughter to Ma'mun. So my point is that he was young. Access to lots of resources. But he maintained his character in such a way that earned the title, not from the followers, from the opponents who were not on the faith, the madhab of Ja'fari faith, the title of Taqi, that this person is so God-weary, he cares no one but Allah Jalla Shanu. Have a salawat on him. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajam. And this is why I chose this ayah. Yawma, the day, Allah is speaking about the day of resurrection. La yanfa'u malum wala banun. Neither wealth, your possessions, your mal is going to benefit you, nor your children are going to avail. None of these two is going to benefit you on that day. Illa man atallaha biqalbin salim. Who is going to avail anything to us is qalb salim. A sound heart, a pure heart. Our sixth holy Imam was asked, Ya Ibna Rasulallah, what does qalb salim mean? Please pay attention. What a word Imam says. This can only come from a Masoom. He says, Al-qalbu salimu alladhi yalqa rabbahu, two attributes. Who meets his Lord, visits his Lord on the day of resurrection, while, how? Laysa fihi ahadun siwah. None other than God is in it, in his heart. That is the qalb salim. And this is used for Hazrat Ibrahim Khalil alayhi alafu tahiyyat wa sana in Quran Kareem. That Hazrat Ibrahim had such a pure heart. And interestingly, when Allah mentions that he was among the Shias of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, meaning the follower on the same religion revealed by Allah Jalla Shanu. Have a salawat on all the prophets of God. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Now, today our youth, they have abundance of resources, limitless resources. I can keep on going for an hour to count from gadgets to high-speed internet to countless movies, talk shows, podcasts, anything you name it, on their fingertips. Multiple accounts in multiple social media platforms. They provide them with any entertainment they want, with any activity they want. Physical resources, you have magnificent playgrounds here. And mashallah, people, they have been given an extravagance in their provisions. Allah mashallah has sustained them with lots of wealth and resources. They have almost access to anything they like. Now this is how the character, or rather the greatest character of our young Imam Jawad alayhi salam comes into play and relates to our society today, and especially our youth. And yes, of course, being an infallible, he's not only a role model for our youth, he's a role model for anybody, for all of us, whoever seeks perfection in life, whoever seeks the pleasure of Allah Jalla Shanu, he can take help through the seerah of Imam Jawad, act according his norms and situations he went through, apply those situations on his life, and 100% he will reach to the same side, to the same level of taqwa and iman which a normal person who is non-infallible may reach. Now, youth nowadays, and never ever. Youth are the core of any community, any country, any nation. As per statistics, there are 1.2 billion youth on earth today. That is over 1/6 of the total population of the world. You know how important that core is? And they have distinct, they have unique skills. They have amazing management skills. They're young, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic, they're bold, they're ready to change in life. So my point is they can bring the best ever possible changes to any community if taken help from. If provided normally, this is where I wanted to connect with our youth today. Our youth are normally less seen, less participating in our social activities. They are there, mashallah, in Ramadanul Kareem. I'm not ignoring their hard work, mashallah. We saw that they were tirelessly working every day. But we don't have just one Ramadanul Kareem event in our calendar year. We are at the doorsteps of Muharramul Haram, which is basically a great venue, a great time to show our loyalty, to pay the haqq of mawaddat of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and most probably, I guess, to polish our Imam and renew our pledge to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam through our lamentation and through our listening to the majalis of Abi Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi alafu at-Tahiyyat wa thanahi wa salawat. So this great potential of youth, if managed properly, if youth are ever participating in a community as young leaders, of course, along with the senior experience, you think what's going to happen? They're great mentors. Maybe our respected elders, they have less influence than our youth wonder. You know how? Big brother concept, big sister concept. If one older brother or sister produces that taqwa, that yaqeen, that daily practice, closeness to Allah, look, he or she is going to drive everybody else in the home towards them. Because, younger, when they see the bigger brother or sister doing something which is, of course, the command of Allah and the way of Islam, how great is going to be the impact. And you bring them here. They have huge, expensive network of connections. Their family members first, their community members, 100+ contacts in their phones normally. Some of them maybe they hit 1,000. And then those networks, they have more connections, more resources. So look and think of that impact they are going to bring to any community, any nation. This is where, see, Imam Jawad alayhi salam comes in the front, in display. Imam has amazing words, especially for youth. Somebody comes once, he says, please pay attention to this beautiful story. He apparently sees the luxury Imam has been provided, from Ma'mun. And in a kind of, he's a Shia, he's a follower, he's a lover. He's not an enemy, not an opponent. He in a kind of, expressive way says, Mawla, mashallah, you have been given so much, from Allah Jalla Shanu, so it sounds great. Imam realizes he's trying to tell me that I have been provided with maybe my forefathers were not. Imam says, listen, the dry naan, khushk naan of my nana's tomb, mere nana ke market ka khushk naan of Medina is better than all this luxury which Ma'mun has given to me. What is my intention from this riwayah? Our youth today, while they have been dipped into this profligacy, do they have that essence of their iman, that ikhlas, that purity, that qurb of Allah, to say no to extravagance and just take as much required and needed. This is what message I want to communicate today. Do we have that much self-control, that self-restraint, which can limit our usage of the given resources? And one of those resources is our umr, is our potential. How much of this energy we are given, we put into the service of Allah, and how much do we use it for our self-pleasure? That is the question. How much haqq of Allah Jalla Shanu do we pay in form of our salah, our rules and regulations of Islam? And that is very minimal. Not more than half an hour is required to offer our obligatory prayers per day. And 23 and a half hours lie with us. You take another 20 minutes in early morning for Quran recitation, still you have an hour. Still you have 23 hours for you. As I normally give you the breakdown. An hour on Friday prayers, maybe half an hour to come and go. Hour and a half, max 2 hours, half an hour to go and half an hour to come. But look at the return of this investment. You're paying the haqq of Allah. Then you have paid the haqq of Rasulullah, who is going to be our shafi', our mediator between us and Allah on the day of resurrection, when la yukallimu, no one is going to be permitted to speak. No one is allowed to talk except whom Allah grants permission to. How much have we paid the haqq of mabaddat of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam? The youth, I mean. And normally they're sidelined. Normally they're quiet. Normally they don't express their opinions. Why? Because they're busy with their life. They're busy in these resources they have been given in abundance. They have been distracted. Now let me give you a striking hadith from Rasulullah. He says, لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ عَجْلٌ وَعَجْلُ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ الدِّينَارُ وَالدِّرْهَمُ. Ajl, you know ajl, calf, bachda. It was the calf of Bani Israel. And what it did, Samri created it, right? Samri was a jeweler. He was a goldsmith. When Hazrat Musa was ghaib, absent only for 40 days, this guy said, well, Musa, astaghfirullah, left. His God also left. This is your new God. And because he made it with gold, took help from people. They also donated, Allahu wali. For good cause, normally people donate less. They do donate. But I don't know, for some satanic affairs, they donate a lot. They produced a whole calf. Think how much gold is required to make a calf. Cow's calf. And it was made of gold. That gold, look, the gold is a sign of what? Worldly attraction, mal, wealth. It deviated people. They took this calf and put it where? Think where this mal went, on the place of God. This lowly thing they created, they put it to the equal place of their creator. Ya Ali. This is the hardest. That's why God hates shirk the most. He says, I'm never going to forgive shirk. If you associate somebody with me, never going to forgive it. Other sins, whomever I will like, I will forgive. If I want. Because is this much value you are giving to me? You are making me equal to your creation while I am the creator of everything. Salawat, please. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Rasulullah says that dirham and dinar, every nation has an ajl, a calf. The calf of my nation is going to be wealth. Dirham and dinar, gold and silver coins, are the currency of the time. Those days it was dinar and dirham. Today we have dollars. So convert. the dirham and dinar $2 here. Our calf, hamara bachda, for our test is money, or dollars. And this is so befitting to our situation today. See, our greatest apostle, he read our minds. He read our, future. And he knows the future till the day of resurrection. He knows everything which is to come. So he mentioned this for today. He warned us basically. And let me give you another hadith before I give you an explanation of this. Hadith says that when inna walama duribat dinaro wa dirhamo, when the first time people made gold and silver coins, Shaitan was so happy, Iblis himself, the boss Shaitan. He came, he took these coins, put them on his forehead first. And then qabbalahuma, thumma qabbalahuma, then he kissed them. And now look what he said. Look what comment he made. He says, Man ahabbakuma fahuwa abdi. Whoever loves you is my slave. Ya Ali. Are you paying attention? How pressing this hadith is. Shaitan is saying to wealth, addressing to dollars, let's say in our local currency format, whoever loves you, oh dollars, he is my slave. Meaning, I don't need to work any harder. As soon as they start liking you, my job is done. My mission is accomplished. They are now my slaves. I'll just whistle them. They will come to me, obey me, follow me. So Ajl, the calf, is a symbol to deviate people from the straight path. And then because it was to do with wealth, gold, the symbol wealth, the possessions, that's why Allah cut off our hope. He says, La yanfa'u. Yawma la yanfa'u mal. That day, this mal is not going to benefit you any. This wealth is not going to be of any benefit. Now, here rises another difficult situation. So is mal bad? No. Remember, let's say today here, if I have rupees, रुपए हैं मेरे पास, they're no good to my convenience store. He's not going to take it, right? But how about if I convert those rupees, if I have lots of them, to dollars? Will he not take dollars? Of course, with all heart, he will take dollars. Pay attention. There's a beautiful and lengthy hadith which says on the day of resurrection, a man will be brought and he will be told stop. For reckoning, he will be questioned, how did you make your money and where did you spend it? Remember 4 questions regarding wealth? 2 of them are these. Where did you earn this? How? Yani as halal or haram? And where, on what did you spend it? The 4 situations, one will be brought, he will say, I produced it from haram and spent it in haram. He will be sentenced to the fire of hell. Throw him in hellfire. Second one will be brought, made money from halal, spent in haram. He will be sentenced to hellfire. Third one, made money from haram, spent in halal, sentenced to fire of hell. Fourth one will be brought, made halal money and spent it in halal. Did you pay attention? He will be told, wait, you are the man we have to deal with. The other 3, they're out of question. Their destination is direct fire of hell. Now the hisab, the reckoning is for the mu'min who earned it fairly, he made fair money, and spent it not in haram, spent it in halal places. He helped his wife, supported his family, donated in the community, cause of Ahl Bayt, produced many other good things, constructed, built a mosque. Okay. Now what is he's going to be questioned? He will be questioned, maybe لَعَلَّكَ قَصُرْتَ فِي طَلَبِ هَذَا. Maybe you had missed some other obligations like salah while you were making this money. You offered your salah maybe on the lesser. Awwal waqt you did not offer it. And then maybe while you were rushing and hurrying while offering salah, you missed min ruku'iha wa sujudiha wa wudu'iha. Maybe you did your wudu quickly. I'm sorry to just, give you an example. I don't mean to mock our, religious rules. No, some people, you will see they will just do like this and then, they're doing namaz and they're in so much hurry. In namaz, which is must be at least 4 minutes, they offer it in, 2.5 minutes. It won't be irrelevant if I say, listen, when you want to say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you gotta say these vowels, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya must be said, Rahim. That is not Quran. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. That must be recited with this length. Look at the time, factor of it. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. If you say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, that is not Quran. 100% that salah is going to be rejected. Don't doubt it. This is what this hadith is teaching us. He will be told, you made fair money, but you lost some of other obligations like salah. Number one, you did not offer it awwal waqt. Number two, because you hurriedly did it, you missed some of its ruku and sajda and other elements within salah. He will say, La ya Rab. No, my God. I offered my salah correctly in a, gentle, slow, in a normal manner. I was not hurrying. I say, okay, we accept your word. Look how many stages he's going to be questioned. Next stage, he will say, la'allaka, maybe the obligations you were told to help your family members, to help the needy, to help the poor, to help Ibn Sabil, maybe you didn't help them. He said, no, Ya Allah, I did help them. Allah is ala kulli shayin qadir. Allah will bring everybody who was around him and he was supposed to help them. They will be right in front of him. And he will say, okay, ask him, did he help you? They will say, oh Allah, you gave him priority in rizq. You gave him more than us. We were there. We were always needy. This guy could help us. Now this guy will say, if he helped, Ya Allah, I did help them. I did help them. At the next stage, Allah will say, okay, if you help them, the blessings I gave you on these favors, did you say shukr of them? Stop there and ask him thoroughly. After this mention of hadith, this is from Naraqi Rahmatullahi alayhi, Jami'u Shahadat. He says, if people who did everything accordingly, as I mentioned, I'm not to repeat, if they are going to be questioned so thoroughly, nitty-gritty of everything, then how about somebody like me? I say about myself. How are we going to sustain the questioning on Day of Resurrection when the Quran says, وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ. Stop them, hold them there. They'll be questioned. Have a salawat, please. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Dear brothers, this beautiful hadith continues. But what was my point I wanted to make? How to convert our wealth into something good, some positive, some beneficial commodity. To understand this, let me give you an ayah and a beautiful riwayah from Rasulullah. Ayah is many ayat like this. مَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Whatever you will send forth from khair, you will find it near Allah Jalla Shanu. Deposit it with Allah. Allah is here. Allah was here. Allah will be here when this earth will not be here. So you are depositing in such a bank, if I can say without any analogy, that which stays forever. Transfer your, belongings to there. And it will be a beautiful story of Imam Ali when, a person who didn't know him, he visits him. And at that time, Imam is apparently Khalifa of Muslimin. He had heard great stories about Imam. Questions, where is, the Khalifa? He doesn't say Imam, he says, where is Khalifa? Comes looking for Khalifa, finds Khalifa in masjid. And coincidentally, it was food time. Rawaya doesn't mention dinner or lunch. But Imam had dry naan in front of him with a cup of water. This man looks around in the masjid. That simplest form of masjid in Kufa? Nothing, no carpets. This carpet is a huge luxury. Don't even think about that mosque which Imam Ali used to offer salah in. Anyways, he comes to Imam and says that, Ya Ali, I came to see you. Well, welcome. Bismillah, let's eat. The man could not break a loaf from that bread. It was so hard. He says, Ya Ali, you are the Caliph? Yes, I am the Khalifa. There are so many favors of Allah. Ni'mate Khuda ki. Why don't you utilize them? Why do you eat this hard bread, which I cannot even break? And then he kind of, indirectly throws an allusion to Imam that, you have the access to so much wealth and money, and, why are you not utilizing them? Imam answers him in a way, yeah, I don't know why I have this weak point, because I never see something like this from others. Imam says, you tell me, a wise person, he puts his expensive belongings on the bridge or in his house? He says, of course in his house. Imam says, is this dunya not a bridge to the akhirah? He says, sure it is. Imam says, I deposit always my best of best in the akhirah, in the house of my akhirah, not here. This dunya is a bridge. Now the man is dumbfounded. Salawat an Ali alayhi salam. Dear brother, Rasulullah says that the friends of son of Adam are three things. He says one friend goes until the departure of his रूह. अगर मैं उर्दू में इसको कनेक्ट कर दूं, खुलासा भी है ये सारी मजलिस का कि सीरा ये इमाम जवाद अलैहिस्सलाम से कैसे आज के जवान को दर्स तक़वा और दर्स तवाज़ुन, बैलेंस इन लाइफ एंड हियर आफ्टर, कैसे इमाम ने हमें दिया है कि आप लग्जरी में रहते हुए भी तक़वा इख्तियार कर सकते हैं, आपके पास नामात की कसरत होते हुए भी फ़कत बक़द्र ज़रूरत इस्तेमाल करके जी सकते हैं। रसूल खुदा ने फरमाया कि इंसान के तीन दोस्त हैं, एक वो कि जो इंसान की मौत तक बस साथ चलता है, कब्ज़े रूह तक, दूसरा वो जो कब्र तक चलता है, तीसरा वो जो उसके महशर तक साथ जाता है। फिर खुद फरमाते हैं जो पहला कि फ़कत कब्ज़े रूह तक जाता है वो माल है, और जो कब्र तक दोस्त जाता है वो इंसान के रिश्तेदार हैं, बीवी बच्चे साथी दोस्त, और जो महशर तक जाता है वो इंसान का अमल है। तो अजीज़ों, ये माल कि जो हमारी मौत तक का साथी है, बस ट्रिक ये है कि इस्लाम ने हमें ये सिखाया कि कैसे इस दुनिया में ही जो हमारा आखिरी मकाम है और आखिरत के लिए पहला बाब, रिमेंबर, कब्र या मौत, अव्वल बाबिन मिन अबवाबिल आखिरा, सबसे पहला दरवाज़ा है आखिरत के दरवाज़ों की तरफ, सही है। और दूसरी रवायत में दार, पहला घर है आखिरत के घरों की तरफ, जो हमारा स्टेशन है पहला। इस स्टेशन तक रहने वाली चीज़ को कैसे आखिरत तक लेके जाएं, इस माल को यूज़ करें आखिरत बनाने के लिए, बेशक्ल सदका, बेशक्ल खुम्स, बेशक्ल ज़कात, बेशक्ल वाजिबात लाइक हज, जैसे हम करेंसी नहीं चेंज करवाते, वो रुपयों वाली मिसाल, मेरे पास अगर रुपए हैं, मैं रुपयों को कन्वर्ट करवा लूँ इधर स्टॉक नहीं, वो क्या कहते हैं, मनी चेंजर के पास जाके उसको डॉलर्स में कन्वर्ट करवा लूँ। लाइकवाइज यहाँ के माल को कन्वर्ट करवाइए तकवे में, क्योंकि इन्ना खैर ज़ाद तकवा, जो बेहतरीन तोशा आखिरत है, कुरान ने फरमाया इन्ना खैर ज़ाद तकवा, वो तकवा है। वो तकवा मौत के साथ यहीं नहीं रह जाएगा, वो तकवा कब्र तक ही नहीं रहेगा, कब्र में भी जाएगा। तकवा यानी हमारे आमाल साले वो हमारे साथ रोज़े माशर तक जाएंगे। आज अगर हमारे यूथ सीरा मुबारक इमाम जवाद अलैहिस्सलाम से ये सबक सीख लें कि कैसे हम इन नामात दुनियावी में रहते हुए इन नामात दुनियावी से अलहदा रह सकते हैं। इमाम अली को कम तौफीक हासिल थी, इमाम तो खाक को हुक्म देते थे सोना बन जाता था। आपने हदीस सुनी हज़रत मिक़दाद के लिए सोना बनाने वाली, तो अगर वो करके गए हैं मेरे भाई, जब इमाम इस दुनिया से गए ना, आपने सुन रखी है हदीस, इमाम का कुल असासा 700 दिरहम थे, 700 दिरहम बस, जिससे वो बीबी ज़ैनब के लिए एक कनीज़ ख़रीदना चाहते थे कि मेरी बेटी काम करते करते थक जाती हैं, तो कोई ऐसा हो जो मदद करे। अजीज़ो इमाम जवाद का आपने सुना फ़ातिमा ज़हरा के इस लाल की, आपको पता है मुसीबत का सबसे बड़ा पहलू क्या है? सबसे जवान तरीन ये शहीद हैं अहले बैत के इमामों में। 25 साल की उम्र कोई उम्र होती है। बीवी ने जहर दिया चचा से मिलकर, मोतसम से मिलकर, उम्मुल फज़ल ने, और इस बदबख्त ने पता है क्या काम किया? इसने बाहर से इमाम के कमरे की कुंडी लगा दी। उससे भला क्या होता है? पता है जब जहर इंसान को मिलता है ना, तो इंसान को बहुत ज़्यादा प्यास लगती है। अजीज़ व इमाम शहीद हुए, आपको एक जुमला देना चाहता हूँ, 2 रवायतें साथ में। शियायान आए, आकर इमाम के जनाज़े अतहर पर इतने फूल डाले, इतने फूल डाले, इतने फूल निछावर किए, अजीज़ों मक्तल लिखता है कि फूलों का ढेर लग गया। उस जगह का नाम सूक़ुर रियाहीन पड़ गया। ये वाहिद इमाम है, इतने फूल निछावर किए कि फूलों का ढेर लग गया इमाम के जनाज़े अतहर पर। लेकिन पता मैं क्यों रोता हूँ? एक और ढेर हमें मिलता है करबला के मैदान में, लेकिन वो फूलों का ढेर नहीं, वो पत्थरों का ढेर था। और पता वो पत्थरों का ढेर किसकी लाश पर था? फातिमा ज़हरा के जिगर पारे इमाम हुसैन के लाशे पर इतने पत्थर कि एक ढेर लगा हुआ था वहाँ पर। जब बीबी ज़ैनब आई है ना, तो आपको पता है बीबी ज़ैनब ने जब पत्थर हटाने शुरू किया, और बीबी की मुसीबत, बीबी ने पत्थर भला कैसे हटाए? शेमर ने बीबी ज़ैनब के हाथ उनकी गर्दन के पीछे कस के बांधे हुए थे। अब बीबी के हाथ आज़ाद नहीं थे, लेकिन बीबी ने कोहनियों से उस पत्थरों के ढेर को हटाया, इतना हटाया कि बीबी की कोहनियाँ भी जख्मी हो गई। लेकिन अब सुनना, नीचे से एक लाशा निकला बेसर का, जिस पर सर नहीं था। उस लाशे पर खंजर के, तीर के, तलवार के, नेज़े के इतने जख्म थे कि बीबी ज़ैनब सगे भाई के लाशे को मुखातब करके कहती है, at-Taqi, क्या तू मेरा भाई हुसैन है? यानी तू मेरे भाई हुसैन का लाशा है। एक दिन रसूल खुदा फातिमा ज़हरा के घर में दाखिल हुए, देखा कि बीबी फातिमा की गोद में नन्हे हुसैन सो रहे हैं और बीबी रो रही हैं। अजीज़ और रसूल खुदा ने तड़प के कहा, बेटी आपको पता है कि मैं आपकी आंखों में आंसू नहीं देख सकता, फिर आप क्यों रो रही हैं? आगे से जवाब सुनना। कहा, बाबा आज मैं अपने नन्हे से हुसैन के बालों में अपनी उंगलियों से कंघी कर रही थी, मेरे हुसैन के सर का एक बाल टूट गया जो मुझसे बर्दाश्त नहीं हुआ, इसलिए मैं रो रही हूं। अज़ादारों, काश कोई पूछे, या सैयदा आ जाकर आप देखिए और बीबी ज़ैनब से पूछिए, जिस हुसैन का एक बाल टूटने पर आपकी बर्दाश्त खत्म हो जाती थी, उस हुसैन के बदन पर बाल तो क्या सर नहीं। अला लानतुल्लाहि अलल कौमिज़्ज़ालिमीन व सयअलमुल्लज़ीना ज़लमू अय्युम मुनक़लबिन यनक़लिबून। परवरदिगारा, तुझे वास्ता इस जवान इमाम जवाद की शहादत का, हमारे जवानों को सीरा इमाम जवाद पे चलने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमा। हमें अपने जवानों को सीरा इमाम जवाद के पर चलते हुए यहाँ लाने, नमाज जुमा में शिरकत कराने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फरमा। मालिक, हमारे इमाम ज़मान के ज़हूर में ताजील फरमा। अल्लाहुम्मा अज्जिल वलियकल फ़रज मातम हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन।
या हुसैन या हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन, हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन, हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब शहीद अल। सलाम तुम्हें ए शहे करबला, सलाम हो तुम्हें ए कतीले जफा, सलाम हो तुम्हें ए शहे करबला, सलाम हो तुम्हें ए कतीले जफा, सलाम हो तुम्हें दीन के पेशवा। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन, हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन। तुम्हें हो बकाए दीन खुदा, तुम्ही हो हमारे इमाम हुदा, तुम्ही हो बकाए दीन खुदा, तुम्ही हो हमारे इमाम हुदा। तुम्ही तो हो शाफी रोज़े जज़ा। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन, हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। शहीद शहीद। कटा के गला तूने साबित किया, बचा के ये दीन तूने साबित किया। कटा के गला तूने साबित किया, बचा के ये दीन तूने साबित किया। कि तुम जानशीन रसूल खुदा। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन, हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। हुसैन शहीद शहीद अल हुसैन। हमें करबला में बुलाओ हुसैन, हमें अपना रोज़ा दिखाओ हुसैन। हमें करबला में बुलाओ हुसैन, हमें अपना रोज़ा दिखाओ हुसैन। बने हम बिया के ज़वारे हुसैन। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। हुसैन अल गरीब अल गरीब अल हुसैन। शहीद 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 अल हुसैन। मोहम्मद व आल मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम।